items address issues that have been discussed by the board in the past and or routine operational matters which do not involve new policy decisions. Other consent items are derived from provisions in the existing prior approved labor contracts, capital construction programs, or other trustee initiatives. Consent agenda is presented for adoption as a single agenda item. Specific items may be removed by request of any board member for discussion as part of the regular agenda. The remaining items should then be adopted as a single agenda. Board approval of consent agenda is required. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of 2022. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? We'll do a roll call.
Paula Barlow.
Present.
Sabrina Lamar.
Yes.
Barbara Lovenheim.
Aye.
Carla Palumbo.
Aye.
Grace Tillinghast. Grace Tillinghast.
You're muted.
Connie Walker.
Aye.
Alan Williams.
Aye. I will now move to give the Finance and Facilities Committee report in the absence of Trustee Rakoff. The board will consider these resolutions as committee of the whole, voting on each in turn. And I'd like to invite VP Greg Hinton to give the financial report. Before he does, I'd like to say this is his first official meeting, and welcome, Mr. Hinton, and we're glad to have you here.
Thank you, Chair Williams. So we'll go to the next slide. So enrollment through spring census, you see here a 6322 FTE, which reflected a decrease of 756 FTEs or 10.7 year of year. Look at tuition, student tuition reflected a decrease of 3.7 million, decrease of 10.8. Again, this is a reflection of declining enrollment. In terms of total revenue, looking at 81.6 million, reflecting year of year decrease of 5.6. Primarily due to the increase in enrollment, student fees, and state aid. And we see here federal aid offset 3.0 million. Also, in 2021, New York State had a 5% reduction plan that also was not in effect in 2022. So that also affects it in terms of total revenue. Total expenses. Looking at total expenses being 69.2 million, reflecting a decrease of 1 million to 1.5 year of year. And then the fund balance, we have a fund balance decrease of 3.8 million of year. Next slide. Here we're looking at student head count, fall and spring census, decrease of 10.7 million from year of year of last year. Enrollment, looking at 10.7% decrease. We've talked about the 3.7 million decrease in tuition. Total revenue decrease of 4.8 million, 5.6% decrease. In total expenses, 69.2, a decrease from 7.2, 1 million. And then the fund balance generated versus used, looking at 12.4 compared to 16.2. 3.8 million or 23.4%. Here we're looking at represented budget achievement through spring census of 97%. The good news is with the part-time, we're looking at FTE enrollment increase of 22%. We actually, this year, I think previous Board of Trustees meeting, Darrell talked about that we're really on track to hopefully be able to make budget this year. And so we're actually tracking pretty well this year. just kind of another breakdown in terms of the revenue. Again, seeing the biggest differentiation between the tuition, and we talked about the decline in enrollment. But again, tracking the hit budget this year. Total revenue being $81.6 million, a decrease of $4.8 million or 5.6%. Again, we talked about the difference in the state aid, sponsored aid, definitely appreciative of the county. We have a 2.6 increase. Hopefully that increase will continue. Federal appropriations down $1.6 million, 34.7%, and then all other increase of $5.5 million. Here we see in terms of basically the contractual expenses, and basically what that has been because of utilities, and basically that's been because hey, returning to campus and trying to be as robust as we can. And so increasing utilities is really what you're seeing there in the contractual expenses. Here's just another breakdown of that. Again, we see the 12.1% differentiation in the contract expense. Again, that's primarily utilities increases. Very slight change here in terms of benefit performance between year-over-year April 21 to April 22. So here we see the fund balance of $49.4 million, reflecting a year-over-year increase of $21.1 million. But looking at that in terms of HERF dollars, that's $15 million coming from HERF. Looking at this year in 2022, roughly $30 million in terms of HERF, and then in 21, $12 million. So we're looking at that 21.1 million increase being primarily coming from the HERF funds. Again, kind of looking at the key performance here in terms of enrollment FTEs. Tuition, we're seeing a decrease of 6.7 million. Total revenue decrease of 27.6, and then total expenses variance in terms of 40.2 million, and then fund balance we talked about in the 12.6 million. That concludes the financial brief. For any questions?
Any questions, trustees? The Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College accepts the interim financial reports as of May 31st and April 30th, 2022, as noted in attachment 1. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the financial reports as detailed in attachment 1?
Motion.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? Any further discussion? All in favor? Do a roll call.
Trustee Paula Barlow,
Yay.
Sabrina Lamar,
Aye.
Barbara Lovenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo,
Aye.
Grace Tillinghast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
Alan Williams.
Aye. Resolved, the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College authorizes the purchase of items over $20,000 as listed for the months of March and April 2022, as shown in attachment 2. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the purchases over $20,000 as detailed in attachment 2?
So move. Second.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Again, roll call vote.
Okay. Trustee Paula Barlow,
Aye.
Sabrina Lamar,
Aye.
Barbara Lovenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo,
Aye.
Grace Tillinghast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
Alan Williams.
Aye. Resolved, the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College approves the schedule of tuition and fees for the fiscal year September 1st, 2022 through August 34th, 2023. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the schedule of tuition and fees as detailed in attachment 3.
So
Move
moved.
it.
Been moved and been second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I just want to say one thing, and I think that we as the Board of Trustees should commend our students for accepting the tuition raise for this following year, looking at what's needed to keep the college a success, and we applaud them for their part in that.
Any further discussion? I think I included in your packet was a letter of support from the Student Association, or SGA, for the tuition increase. Hearing no further discussion, can I have a vote?
Okay. Trustee Paula Barlow,
Yay.
Sabrina Lamar. Sabrina Lamar,
Yes, I'm sorry.
Barbara Lovenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo,
Aye.
Grace Tillinghast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
Alan Williams.
Aye. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College approves the operating budget for the fiscal year September 1st, 2022 through August 31st, 2023 in the amount of $109,440,000. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the operating budget for the fiscal year September 1st, 2022 through August 31st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a roll call vote.
Okay. Trustees Paula Barlow,
Yay.
Sabrina Lamar,
Aye.
Barbara Lovenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo,
Aye.
Grace Tillinghast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
Alan Williams.
Aye. Resolved, the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College authorizes the following transfer of funds from instruction contractual expenses in the amount of $182,500 to instruction for equipment in the same amount of $182,500. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the transfer of funds as noted?
So move.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Paula
Sorry.
Aye. Barbara Lovenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo,
Aye.
Grace Tillinghast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
and Alan Williams.
Aye. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College authorizes the Chair of the Finance and Facilities Committee or the Chair of the Board of Trustees to approve budget transfers on behalf of the Board of Trustees through the end of the budget year, August 31st, 2022. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the budget transfers as noted?
So move. Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor? We'll move to a roll call vote.
Okay. Trustees Paula Barlow,
Aye.
Sabrina Lamar,
Aye.
Barbara Lovenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo,
Aye.
Grace Tillinghast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
and Alan Williams.
Aye. Trustees, please refer to the information items and attachments 4, 5, and 6. Greg, would you like to provide any additional information to the board?
No, sir. They're in the packet for any questions.
Trustees, are there any questions? Hearing none, this concludes the Finance and Facilities Committee report. Trustee Carla Colombo will now give the Personnel and Programs Committee report. The board will consider these resolutions as a committee as a whole, voting on each in turn.
Thank you, Chair Williams. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College approves the appointment of Dr. Robin Cole Jr. as Vice President, Economic and Workforce Development and Career Technical Education. This annual appointment will begin on June 21st, 2022, and continue through August 31st, 2022. The salary for the period ending August 31st, 2022 is $167,000 prorated for the period of this appointment. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the appointment of Dr. Robin Cole Jr.?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor, we'll now call for a roll call vote. Trustee Paula Barlow.
Aye.
Trustee Sabrina Lamar.
Aye.
Trustee Barbara Lovenheim.
Aye. Ooh,
I, Carla Palumbo, say aye. Trustee Grace Tillingast.
Aye.
Trustee Connie Walker.
Aye.
Chair Williams.
Aye. Before we move to the next resolution,
Okay.
I think Dr. Cole is online.
Yeah. Let me just call if there's any opposed.
Okay.
Okay, seeing none, the motion carries. Yes, Dr. Cole is online with us. Maybe would like to say a few words.
Everyone hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
I just want to thank the Board of Trustees on this appointment and thank President Dr. Burt and Nana. I'm looking forward to serving and, moving forward the Edwards Division. And like I said, on June 21st, coming in with the enthusiasm just to continue to help build up the greater Rochester area and just to continue just to help things grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cole. Welcome. Next, resolved that the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College approves the appointment of Mr. Greg Hinton as Chief Financial Officer and Vice President Administrative Services. This appointment will begin on May 2nd, 2022 and continue through August 31st, 2022. The salary for the period ending August 31st, 2022 is $170,000 prorated for the period of this appointment. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the appointment of Mr. Greg Hinton?
Motion.
It's moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, I will call for a roll call vote. Trustees Paula Barlow,
Aye.
Sabrina Lamar,
Aye.
Barbara Lovenheim,
aye.
Carla Palumbo, I say aye. Grace Tillingast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
and Chair Williams.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. Mr. Hinton, I know that you gave your report, but would you like to say a few words? We welcome you to our little group. So our little family.
No, but that's I think definitely on point. Definitely want to thank the president and the board and the Monroe Community College. I had dinner yesterday. Me and my wife flew up. We had dinner with the Willers, Eric Willer, his family yesterday. But everybody has been beyond gracious and very warm to us and very supportive. So I just can't say thank you enough. So very proud and humbled and honored to be here. Thank you.
So welcome to you, and of course, again to Dr. Cole. Thank you. So next, resolved that the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College approves a part-time intermittent leave for professional advancement development for Mr. Greg Hinton, Chief Financial Officer and Vice President, Administrative Services, while he pursues an executive EAD, doctorate in education, I believe that is, in higher education leadership at the University of Texas at Austin, starting June 3rd, 2022, with an awarded degree anticipated in June 2025. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the leave for professional advancement for Mr. Greg Hinton?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. I will call, any discussion or questions? Okay, I
Just
will
a
call,
question,
yes,
just a question, how often will be this part-time leave?
Mr. Hinton, can you respond?
Yes, ma'am. Generally, we're looking at, the program goes every other weekend, but looking at roughly 18 weekends out of a year. There's actually long breaks building between. So we're looking at the classes meet on Friday and Saturday. And so it's a residential program, but looking at roughly it's 18 weeks out of the year. Now they have with the faculty there. Matter of fact, one of the faculty member is teaching social justice. Was actually a president at Tilton University, was at HBC University. She's actually retiring, so she's actually adjusted the schedule. So there may be some adjustments with that. But generally, we're looking at 18 weeks out of the year. Putting any questions?
Thank you.
I could also comment, President Burt Nana. We're really honored that Mr. Hinton has such a prestigious opportunity. It's quite a prestigious program that he was admitted to prior to accepting our position with us. And so it seemed a very small adjustment to make to have the benefit of his learning being brought directly into the work that he will achieve and accomplish here. And we know that he will make every effort to ensure that the operations of the division are not compromised in any way. I've already seen evidence of that and am very appreciative of it.
Thank you, Dr. Burton-Anna. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for a roll call vote. Trustees Paula Barlow,
Aye.
Sabrina Lamar,
Aye.
Barbara Lovenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo, I say aye. Grace Tillingast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
and Chair Alan Williams.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College approves the following AAS degree subject to the approval of the State University of New York, Hospital and Community Mental Health Tech. It's in, the detail is in attachment number 7. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the AAS degree as detailed in attachment 7?
So move.
And is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion?
I have one.
Yes.
So in going through, looking at the abstract, I guess initially the two primary participants in it will be the U of R and DePaul. Is that?
Yeah, according to the.
Yes, thank you, Chair Williams. So the answer to your question is yes, but that's not just exclusive to. So we'll continue to build on those partnerships as the program grows.
Okay, but I'll put in a shameless plug for there's the federally qualified community health centers, and they particularly there's one in the city is Jordan Health, and they for the most part. Their primary clientele are, Black, Brown, and the refugee communities. And they, more than anything else, need the, sort of mental health services. So
Okay.
keep that in mind.
Message received. And typically what happens is when we're creating new programs, we're looking, a lot of times it comes from the community saying, how can MCC help? And in this case, it was the creation of a new degree program. And we need community partners to say, yes, we're committed to supporting this. And so we will be reaching out to Jordan to add them to that list as well,
Okay.
if they're interested. Thank
Great
you.
program, I think.
Any other questions? Okay, I will call for a roll call vote then. Trustees Paula Barlow,
Aye.
Sabrina Lamar,
Aye.
Barbara Lovenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo, I say aye. Grace Tillingast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
and Chair Alan Williams.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College approves leave for professional advancement in accordance with Article 13 of the contractual agreement between Monroe Community College and the Faculty Association for the following. Holly Wheeler, English and Philosophy, Spring 2023. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the leave for professional advancement for Holly Wheeler?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any questions, any discussion? Apparently, I learned a fancy word for sabbatical, so congratulations on that. All right, seeing no discussion, then I'll call a roll call. Trustees Paula Barlow,
Aye.
Sabrina Lamar,
Aye.
Barbara Lovenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo, I say aye. Grace Tillingast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
Chair Alan Williams.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. The last item is attachment 8, which I'll refer you as informational. And just to let you know that this is a modification of the academic grade grievance policy and procedure that just changes the, it moves the first level of adjudication from the provost to the dean level. Are there any questions on this? It's in your attachments. Seeing none, this concludes the personnel and programs report. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Trustee Palumbo. The next two resolutions are quite bittersweet. Whereas Dr. Barbara P. Lovenheim is recognized as an extraordinary educator, leader, and champion for public education in New York State, as demonstrated by her dedicated professional and voluntary service to Monroe Community College. And whereas Dr. Barbara P. Lovenheim has generously contributed her time, provided keen insight, and used her passion for MCC's mission of educational access and inclusiveness to help open doors as a member of the Monroe Community College Board of Trustees since March 2012, including serving as a board chair from November 2017 through April 2021. And whereas Dr. Barbara P. Lovenheim has helped lead MCC through a pivotal time in the college's history that included safely navigating the COVID-19 pandemic, responding to public funding constraints, and successfully transitioning to MCC's 6th president with determination and grace. Whereas Dr. Barbara P. Lovenheim's distinguished service has been recognized by colleagues across the state and nation by her receipt of the New York Community College Trustees Donald M. Morwini Jr. Trustee Leadership Award in 2015, the American Association of University Administrators Dan L. King Award for Outstanding College Trusteeship Leadership in 2021, and the American Association for Women in Community Colleges 2021 Trustee of the Year Award. Whereas Dr. Barbara P. Lovenheim has helped secure and reinforce MCC's position among the most innovative and responsive community colleges in the nation through presentations at state, national levels. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the members of the Monroe Community College Board of Trustees, hereby express our sincere appreciation to Dr. Barbara P. Lowenheim for her dedication to Monroe Community College and the diverse students whom we proudly serve, and be it further resolved that Dr. Barbara P. Lowenheim has had a significant and admirable impact on the college's inspiring success story and its ability to serve Greater Rochester and the Finger Lakes region. May she hereafter be recognized as an honorary trustee of Monroe Community College on this day, the 6th day of June, 2022. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the resolution recognizing Barbara Lowenheim as an honorary trustee?
Absolutely.
So moved.
Been moved?
Second.
And second?
And third,
Discussion.
Yes.
Carla?
Yeah, I would just love, it is very bittersweet, Barbara. I want to thank you for your work. I want to thank you for your mentorship, and everything that you've done and everything that you've taught me personally about being a trustee, and for all your support. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, Carla, every step of the way.
Barbara, I would just like to say, this is very bittersweet for me in the sense that I feel like getting to know you over these last couple of years just simply has not been a long enough period of time to benefit in the ways that I had certainly hoped to. I've learned a lot from you as we traversed this path to trusteeship, and you helped me quite a bit with not just understanding of the role, but how important a role it was in the community. And you served as a living, breathing example of what that meant for me and anyone else who dared to look. I will definitely miss you and miss your counsel, definitely. And I wish you the best, and please expect phone calls from me.
Thank you so much, Connie. And I have to say that between the two of us, we did not let down until you became a trustee. We both hung in there together. And I am so pleased that you will be on the Board of Trustees for many years to come.
Thank you. And thank you.
I just want to say, Barbara, thank you for being just an outstanding trustee, a mentor, and a dear friend.
Alan, I feel the same way about you. We've done some good laughing together about both serious and hilarious kinds of things that have kept us going. And I think since we both came on the board together, we've gone through many of the same experiences, and it's been wonderful to have you as a partner.
Chairman Williams, may I comment?
Yes.
So Trustee Dr. Barbara Lowenheim was my first lens on MCC. I met her through the process of the presidential search and fell in love with MCC through her service, her grace, her words, her example, and conviction about this tremendously amazing institution and what it has been and what it had the potential to become under the leadership of the sixth president and those that shall follow behind me. I did all within my might to convince her not to retire from the board, but it didn't quite work out that way. So I feel a bit comforted by the fact that through this resolution, she will continue to have impact. I've served alongside her as a presenter at national conferences where we talked and celebrated on the importance of trust even in the search process of a president, and what that does for an institution and how it situates the president for success. And so I feel personally responsible for letting you know how tremendously much I appreciate how you have set me up for success through your leadership, through your service over the many years and all the contributions that you and others have made. And I look forward to what your impact through this honorary service will continue to mean for our college.
Thank you so much, President Burt-Nana. It has been a joy to work with you from the very beginning of the search until May 10th, when you took over the college and beyond. I am so excited about your vision, and I commend your courage in coming to MCC on that particular day, never having stepped foot in the area, and you and your wonderful husband, Joseph, have really taken over Monroe County and Rochester and MCC and made it so much of a better place in even a brief year. Thank you for your friendship, and thank you for making the future look so bright for this college.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Okay, all right. Trustees Paula Barlow,
Aye.
Sabrina Lamar,
Aye.
Barbara Lobenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo,
Aye.
Grace Tillinghast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
and Alan Williams.
Aye. Now for the other bittersweet moment of the evening. Whereas Paula Barlow has served faithfully as a student trustee of the Monroe Community College Board of Trustees beginning in 2021-2022 academic year. And whereas Paula Barlow has served diligently and with sincere devotion as a member of the Finance and Facilities Committee of the board, as well as the Student Trustee Advisory Committee of the Association of Community College Trustees during her term of office. And whereas Paula Barlow enhanced her learning experience as a student trustee by enrolling in an academic course to advance her leadership knowledge and skills, as well as attended the ACCT National Legislative Summit, the ACCT Governance Leadership Institute, NYCCT Annual Conference and Award Ceremony, and participated in the NYCCT student meetups. And whereas Paula Barlow has contributed to the betterment of the college by expressing the student perspective while serving as a dedicated representative of her fellow student. And whereas Paula Barlow has positively impacted the lives of her fellow students through her leadership, academic achievement, and involvement in co-curricular activities, standing as a role model for current and future students. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Board of Trustees of Monroe Community College, hereby expresses its deep appreciation for her leadership and service to the college, and extends to her best wishes for continued happiness and success in the years ahead. Trustees, may I have a motion to approve the resolution of recognition for Paula Barlow?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion?
I would like to comment and just thank Paula for such tremendous leadership as our student trustee. I had the pleasure of being with Paula at the National Legislative Summit in Washington, D.C., and boy, was she impactful. I share with Chair Williams and I said, I think that we could have just stayed home and sent Paula because they were just so impressed and captivated by her story. But then I also had the flip side of seeing her impact by working directly with the Student Government Association, one of our tremendous shared governance groups, and how respected she is among her peers. So Paula, we have great aspirations for you. I know that you hold those aspirations and we look forward to seeing you achieve them, but I want to thank you for the beautiful, delicate balance of your grace, as well as your conviction and your professionalism and just your exemplary excellence as a student. You've done an amazing job and you've made us proud.
Thank you, Dr. Burton. Almost make me cry.
And even after in an accident, she got a dislocated shoulder. She had a dislocated shoulder and a tree fell on her house. Her service and dedication to the board and as a trustee never waned.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Thank you.
Any further discussions? Any comments? Hearing none, do a roll call vote.
Okay. Trustees Paula Barlow,
Aye.
Sabrina Lamar,
Aye.
Barbara Lovenheim,
Aye.
Carla Palumbo,
Aye.
Grace Tillinghast,
Aye.
Connie Walker,
Aye.
Chair Williams.
Aye. And even though Paula is leaving us, I think we have our new student trustee who will follow in Paula's footsteps I think she's online. Mia?
Good afternoon, my name is Mylan, but I go with Mia. It's my pleasure to be here today.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you and welcome. You'll be sworn in
June 23rd.
June 23rd. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Look forward to working with you.
Trustees, unless there is further business to discuss, this concludes the business portion of the meeting. We'll now go on to the informational portion of the Board of Trustees meeting. I would now like to ask Val Abalone, Yasna Bogstanofa, and President Bert Nanner to provide a presentation on the new strategic plan.
Good evening, everybody, or afternoon.
I was just going to make a comment before you and Valerie get into the presentation. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. I just want to take a moment and acknowledge these amazing colleagues that will be presenting our strategic plan on today. They're the two co-chairs of our strategic planning leadership team and have shepherded a very comprehensive and complex process to fruition with the help of many across our college, which they'll be discussing. But I could not be more appreciative of their leadership, supported by the Collaborative Brain Trust as our consulting group that came alongside us and our colleagues all throughout the college to present to our institution and to our board on today a 5-year projection of our strategies and guideposts of where we're headed as far as the strategic direction for our college. So with that, I'll turn it over to Val and Yasna at this point, and we'll supplement throughout the presentation where it may help to strengthen their presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Bernana, and thank you for your guidance and your leadership as well. So I'll start. If you can go to the next slide. So once Valerie and I were appointed as co-chairs, we worked on selecting the group members together with the president and the cabinet, and we came up with a group of 16 members for the strategic planning leadership team. And we wanted to make sure that they're all diverse and they're representing all different areas of the college. So we had a mix of administration, faculty, professional, and support staff, and we were represented by all divisions and all campuses. So we started with weekly meetings starting in November of last year. And then in January, we started meeting every single Monday morning at 8, sometimes more. The Collaborative Brain Trust, which was the company that worked with us, started working with us in January. And if we can go to the next slide, I can change the slides. Yeah, Nikki Harrington was the lead for CBT. And if we can go to the next one. And there were 3 different phases of the project. Phase 1 was the discovery phase, where we did the collection, data analysis, and synthesis, which had the surveys and the listening sessions. Phase 2 was the portfolio development and the planning assumptions. And this is the time when we were compiling the findings together. And phase 3 is when we were doing the goal settings and recommendations. We met and CBT came to MCC, and we did the goal settings. If we can go to the next one, thank you. So in terms of input gathering, we wanted to make sure that we heard the voices of everybody. So there were 150 internal stakeholders listening sessions. There were listening sessions with 50 external stakeholders and student groups, and 2 all-college forums. In addition, we had surveys which were sent to all college employees and students. And also we had employer representatives who sit on advisory boards. We can go to the next one. Thank you. So CBT based the college portfolio on the data and the trends, the MCC trends that this is the data that we provided, the planning assumptions, and listening session themes that came out of all these listening sessions. So there were all these themes that were emerging that we looked at. So now it's up to Val. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Yasna. And thank you all for having us here today and having an opportunity to share all of the work we've been doing for so long, it seems. Yasna's talked to you about process, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the plan itself and the components that are in there. We have obviously a mission and a vision like we have in every plan. This time, even though they are very similar to what we've had in the past, we kind of did a refresh. We wanted to update it, make it feel a little more personal, and we really wanted to see a focus on students. So you'll find many of the same words in there, but I think you'll see that they really speak to the students and about the students more. Moving on to the core values, which here again is another component that's in all of our strategic plans. We did a little refresh of some of the wording, not huge changes, but we did eliminate one of them, and that one was collaboration. We obviously do a lot of collaboration, so we didn't feel that that was as important to bring out, but it really was important to talk about community, how we are as an institution part of the community, how we are our own community. And it was after COVID and what we went through there that we really thought, you know, we need to start bringing ourselves back together. We've been so long apart, and it feels very different to live in this Zoom world, which is really convenient, but on the other hand, you miss so many pieces and you miss your friends and your connections and all. And so we really wanted to focus on bringing back that community piece. And then the big change, the new piece that we added to this speaks to not only what's happening in our world today, but what's happening right here at MCC. And that's the inclusion of a diversity, equity, and inclusion statement. This to us was extremely important and to members of our team. And so not only did we want to interweave some of this within the plan, we thought it was time to just have a statement that stood out by itself right in the plan. And so you'll find that as part of our new plan. And then finally, we went on and had 5 directions with supporting goals. You already changed, thank you. And so we started out, as I talked to you about community, we kind of said, you know, it's time for us to talk about being together as one. And so we changed and moved really from replacing organizational culture to what we thought this meant for MCC and for us. And it specifically mentions all members of our MCC community, our students, our faculty, our staff, but it brings up our retirees and our alumni. These are folks, even though they've been a huge part of MCC, we've never really called out. And yet they are contributors, they come back and they work with us, they donate for us, they represent us in the community constantly. And we wanted them really recognized within the plan, and so they felt like they were really part of being one MCC and together as one. In addition, the goals include the development of a new DEI plan, which is to be handled and moved forward by Kelvin Gant, commitment to our community, to service and to justice. And it also talks about a vision for our downtown campus. We know we have a beautiful campus here, but it's time for us to figure out what that vision really is. What do we want it to be to our community, to ourselves, but also to the outside community? Is it a workforce place? Is it a place of learning? Is it a connection place for partnerships? How exactly are we going to move this forward? And so it's a very important part of this, bringing us all together as one. Next slide, please. Direction 2 focuses on the student and the services and supports that we give our students in order for them to be successful. It looks at reducing equity gaps. It looks at an inclusive, multicultural, and multilingual communications and services. Here again, as I said in the beginning, we want more of a focus on the students this time, not so much on some of the outside work that we do, although it's still important and it's still in here, but we really wanted to bring it back to the students, what we're really here to do and to serve. And so can we move on then to direction 3? Direction 3, enrollment reimagined. This specifically focuses on one of the many challenges we and many other institutions are facing, enrollment. Here we look at the development and implementation of a new strategic enrollment management plan, the SEM plan. Hopefully that will address many of the issues we are experiencing and we know other institutions are. It talks about our clearly defined pathways. It looks at intrusive advisement, building bridges from non-credit to credit programs, and it also talks about a new marketing plan that is being developed. Can we move on to direction 4, please? This is community engagement and partnerships. Direction 4 expands on the progress that we made in the direction from the current plan, which was called Career Pathways and Regional Economic Development. In this new direction, we plan to build on partnerships, civic, community, and a global engagement, and serving as a leader in the economic and workforce development world. Next slide, please. And direction 5, which is our final one, focuses on institutional effectiveness, efficiency, and sustainability. The effectiveness of an institution rests upon its contribution that each of the institution's programs and services make toward achieving the goals of the institution as a whole. Here we bring our attention to our employees, our resources, integrated planning, assessment, and evidence-based decision-making. And with that, we'll move on to next steps. So what happens now? You know, we've developed a plan. We've handed it out to all of you to review over the next few months. So it's in your hands to look at now, come back with questions or whatever. In the near future, I know you'll be meeting with the cabinet and be talking with the development about the development of KPIs. Those are key performance indicators. Key meaning these are the most important things that we should be measuring. Doesn't mean that we won't be doing other measurements throughout the plan, but these are the top ones that we would be sharing with the board and sharing out to the community and others. The other types of measurements really are how we're getting things done and how they're working, and you'll see those being developed by the individual divisional plans that each of the VPs will be creating. Faculty Senate is due to endorse the plan on June 16th, hopefully endorse the plan, I should say. We're in belief that they're going to be doing this, but until we actually have that endorsement, you never know. Same with your votes. So we were hoping for those things, but we will wait and see. Your Board of Trustee approval comes on August 1st. And then we begin plan implementation in the fall of 2022. So it'll be integrated with our budgets then. The VPs will have started their divisional plans. They'll have built strategies, work plans, timelines, and measurable outcomes throughout. And finally, once it's all going and working, we'll be monitoring and we'll be looking at the progress and we'll be looking at the accomplishments as they begin and hopefully communicating them and celebrating them. So with that, I'd like to open it up to all of you. If you have any questions, Yasna and I are here and we'd be happy to answer anything. And then I think Dr. Bertnana might have a few comments still too.
I would like to make a comment in direction 1. I believe that the trustees are ambassadors for the college in many, many, many ways. So I was wondering why among the different groups, alumni, retirees, etc., the trustees who were not included.
I think it was an omission of error, and we certainly should have included you and certainly can add that.
Thank you.
It was not a deliberate thing by any means. We were obviously working at a very, very fast pace when we were doing some of these. And it's easy to have something slip, and that's why we have so many sets of eyes and opportunities for folks to come back and comment before anything gets finalized. So thank you. That definitely is something we would add.
Yes, please share your observations. This is the first read, which means it's being presented to the board so that you can bring forth those. So thank you so much, Trustee Tillinghast, for raising that. And perhaps there are other comments and observations as well that we can take back prior to the board's final approval in August. I also wanted to comment that just to kind of bring things up to the current state of where we are with our plan. The board also has in its packet the current strategic plan, which originally expired in 2021. And so it would have been expiring at the time that I came on board, and we would present it to the board, a request to extend that plan by an additional year, and you graciously made a resolution to do so. We're very grateful for that additional year that we had. But understanding that the strategic plan really is what allows us to chart a strategic direction for the college. You heard Valerie make reference that everything that we do, how we allocate resources, how our budget is designed, how the performance of the leadership of the college is understood as having the desired impact, should all be anchored by what our strategic plan says that we will achieve together. And so it's a very important document, which is why we took this year and engaged our colleagues from every one of our facilities, our locations, our campuses, our partners, external and internal to the college, to give us input on where we should chart a course for ourselves as the communities college over the next 5 years. And that's what you have here today. So please, we want to hear your observations and questions and give you an opportunity to do the same again when we come back together on August 1st.
President Burt Nana, are the trustees going to be meeting on June 23rd for a strategic planning session so that we can have some time to provide some in-depth questions with regard to the plan?
The board is convening as a workshop on June 23rd for the specific purpose of identifying the key performance indicators, the metrics by which these strategic priorities and directions will be measured as being accomplished or not. So it's a much narrower focus because we want to know from the board what the end objectives are through your governance role to help us to achieve and how we should measure that. We will be joined by our institutional research department and others that have that expertise to help us to make sure that they are measurable, achievable, realistic, SMARTY goals, as they're called, so that we can make sure that we're charting that direction. So it's a much more narrower focus to the conversation. The hope is that by presenting the plan to you today, that you will have many questions and suggestions that you will document and bring back to us, so that we can have an adequate opportunity to address your questions and considerations before a final version is brought to the board. And I'm listening to this conversation thinking that maybe we need to have a much more formalized process by how we will collect that prior to August 1st, so that we will communicate to the board how that feedback can find its way into the plan that will come before you for a vote on August 1st.
That sounds good to me.
I'm sure at the, we have the meeting on the 23rd, intended to sort of a narrow focus. I'm sure it will at some point in time become much wider, and you may have to probably schedule another meeting with the board and trustees to go over the plan prior to the August 1st vote.
We can accomplish that.
Any other comments, questions, issues? Well, you know, I like to say that there are two things that that I'm looking forward to, and I'm happy to see was included in the plan. The first of which was it is now more student-centered, which is good, and the inclusion of looking at diversity, equity, and inclusion as a key portion of the plan itself. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
The other thing too is, at what point will we, or have you, or are you developing now sort of a dashboard that would give the board periodic updates in terms of how we're progressing towards the various goals?
It's a little premature till we absolutely have your approval of the plan.
Okay.
But in the background, in the meantime, meetings are being held with cabinet, with William and myself talking about KPIs, et cetera, and then working with the cabinet also on developing how they're going to put together their work plans and build their own divisional plans. So we're moving forward, but we're not leaping because we need to have the approvals first. We want to make sure we're doing it with the plan, not just wildly going at it. So.
All right. Any other comments, questions?
I would just add that, again, circling back around to the amazing work that this strategic planning leadership team did. It's kind of record-breaking timeframes that they were able to, as Val chuckles, I'm sure Yasna's doing that in the background too. But it was a challenge that I knew that we were up for because we understood the importance of us having that strategic direction as an institution for us to achieve. So the work was accomplished in a shorter than ideal timeframe, but the comprehensiveness of the output of what they were able to bring together, what we were able to do together, is really remarkable. And we're sure it can be improved upon, and we will look forward to the feedback from the board of any questions and suggestions that you might have to further enhance what we are presenting to you today.
Thank you all.
Thank you. I would now like to ask President Bertnander to give her report.
Thank you so much, Chair Williams. It's hard to believe that it has been 1 year since I first sat before all of you as president of Monroe Community College, and what an amazing year it has been. To think about that, just last May, it was the commencing of a new presidency and the work that we were doing. But the things that we've accomplished today, including what you just heard about the amazing work for having a strategic direction for the college for the next 5 years, is evidence of what can happen in the hands of such a tremendous institution and my colleagues all throughout. So I'm very thankful for the warm welcome that Joseph and I have received when we first arrived in Rochester. We're hoping that Greg and Robin and their families will experience the same that we've experienced in finding this to be our home and enjoying it so very much. And I can just continue to be amazed at the excellence of our faculty, our staff, and the administrative team that I have the privilege of working with each and every day. Their excellence is always on full display. Each moment of their work, of their contributions, of their daily work for the betterment of our community. And we are changing lives together, and we're doing it in a way that fuels the economic vibrancy of our beloved community, and that's a wonderful feeling. I want to thank the trustees for your visible and engaged participation in a host of end-of-year celebrations over the past few weeks in recognition of MCC's exemplary students and employees. And on this past Thursday, MCC hosted its in-person commencement for the classes of 2022, 21, and 2020, a first in-person gathering since 2019. So it felt extra special for all of us to be together at the Blue Cross Arena. But the excitement did not begin or end there. Those types of events were sandwiched between other celebrations, including the MCC hosting the grand opening of the Finger Lakes Workforce Development Center, or the Forward FWD Center, which is our 50,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility on the 5th and 6th floors of our downtown campus, resulting from a collaboration of public and private partnerships, including the $11.4 million combined investment from the state of New York and SUNY, and an additional $3.2 million that was donated through the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation to ensure that we had the equipment and staffing levels to deliver on the intent of our facility. Governor Hochul attended that event, and we were so very grateful to have her, as well as many local dignitaries at the state and our local levels of government, as well as public and private partners. So we're eager to begin serving the needs of our region through this investment strategically placed right here in the heart of our community. And we knew that New York State knew that in good hands at MCC, if we deliver the results through partnerships with other educational institutions, government, community, trades, and other public and private partners. So we're very grateful for that. Monroe County understands that MCC's success is Monroe County's success. And we've heard this public statement made on multiple occasions now by Monroe County Executive Adam Bello, including in his State of the County address, which was delivered on the Brighton campus of MCC just last month, where I had the privilege and honor of delivering the welcome address and introducing our county executive during a very well-attended in-person event that was also live streamed publicly. The county executive during that event announced a $34 million investment in a newly constructed applied technology center, which would be relocating MCC's current Applied Technology Center from West Henrietta Road to Brighton campus, allowing for updated facilities and the expansion of applied technology programs, with the potential to later include an expansion of MCC's optics program. So we're very grateful for those exciting announcements and the progress that we are making, all of us together as one. I again want to welcome my newest team members, Mr. Greg Hinton, our VP and CFO, as well as Dr. Robin Cole, our Vice President of Economic Development and Career and Technical Education. We're looking forward to having Dr. Cole join us at the end of June, although we have kept him a little bit engaged throughout, including that he was here with us during the Forward Center grand opening as well. So with that, that would conclude my report. However, I will always appreciate any questions or comments from the board at this time.
Members, are there any questions or comments? Now, I would ask the cabinet members to give their reports, starting off with Dr. Gant.
Good evening, trustees. Thank you again always for the opportunity to speak to you all. Before I jump into my report, I just wanted to take a moment to just reflect, on the large-scale violence that's taking place not only in Rochester but across the country. For those who maybe aren't aware, just on June 5th alone, we've had 3 mass shootings, 2 in Michigan, and 1 in Arizona, outside of the ones, of course, that have made the news more readily in Philadelphia, Texas, and our sister institution or city, Buffalo. So again, just want to take a moment to reflect on the fact that, the communities are really struggling right now to find hope and to figure out ways in which to keep each other safe and encouraged. And, certainly we have a role to play in that as we try to keep ourselves, our community safe, but we know our campus is safe. And so we can rest assured that we are doing what we can from a campus standpoint to do that well. So I'll go into my report. Just have three small items that I wanted to share with you. The first is that the MCC Veteran Services Department received a gift of $15,000 from the Rochester Veterans Business Council to provide scholarships to students. So I want to recognize Eric Wheeler for his work and support in bringing those scholarships to our students. The second is a pilot program that we started this year called MAPS, which stands for Multicultural Assistance Peer Programs. And that was an initiative that we started this year with support from funding from academic services. So again, another representation of the partnerships that we do here at the college that work really well. And what we did was we modeled it after our peer navigator program on campus. And what we tried to do was provide opportunity for students who are multicultural to be able to work in a variety of different offices on the college campus to learn a little bit more about what we offer and provide support and services to their peers. And certainly, but not least, the last is we had on May 25th, the college's annual employee recognition ceremony, which we celebrated exceptional achievement of 11 MCC employees and award winners. And, of course, the HR department led by Kristen Lowe and her team did a fantastic job in bringing that event together. Although virtual, I think it was a great opportunity to celebrate our employees, especially those that move on and go into retirement. So in similar vein to what Val was saying, our retirees always figure out a way to come back to MCC and support the work that we're doing. So it's a great opportunity for us to recognize and honor those individuals as well. So that is my report.
Trustees, any questions? Vice President Hinton, have any?
We'll start with programming. Technology services rollout of multi-function factor authentication was completed on April 11th with minimal issues. Multi-factor authentication is required by SUNY for MCC participating in D2L Brightspace project completion our learning management system. Blackboard is also required by our cyber insurance carrier to maintain coverage. It's also required by GLBA law, which is the Graham Lease filing, which MCC must comply to be allowed to administer federal student aid to our students. According to cybersecurity experts, including the SUNY Chief Information Security Officer, multi-factor authentication is the single most important step we can take towards securing our environment from cyber attack. Many thanks to the team for your creativity, persistence, and hard work over many months delivering these outstanding results, which protects the college systems and that. So huge success with that. Personnel, the 3 facilities employees attended the Associate of Physical Plant Administrators virtual synopsis for March 29th to 31st. Courtney Sprague, Director of Facilities, Custodial is Operations, Tony Custodial, Director of Facilities, Downtown Campus, and Jim Charlton, Facility Specialist. And basically with this, as technology continues to evolve in best practice, we're just trying to make sure we stay on top of that. Partnership, Custodial Operations Associated Rochester Area College Meet and Greet, including RIT, Roberts Wrestling, a total of 20 supervisors and directors for custodial departments attended to discuss best practices and tour of Monroe Community College. Again, just staying on the best practices on top of everything. Public Safety Strategic Planning Coordinator Chuck DeSalvo has been working for the past 2 months to create a specialized training program for college executives related to their duties during emergency. Administrators will be providing guidance and training to the roles during a campus-wide or community-based emergency disaster. And this training was done, coordination was done with FEMA Homeland Security in April and May. I'm going to give you a brief COVID update. Referencing COVID-19 vaccination policy for SUNY College universities for the fall 22 semester as follows. All in-person learning students and those partaking on-campus housing are required to have completed the initial 2-shot, either Pfizer or Moderna, as well as a COVID-19 vaccine booster, either the 1-shot Johnson & Johnson or 2-shot Pfizer or Moderna, plus the COVID-19 to be able to do in-learning and those who are taking on-campus housing. Proof of vaccination, booster shot compliance must be uploaded to our COVID-19 vaccination verification database located on the COVID-19 webpage. All persons partaking in on-campus housing for the fall 22 semester are required to have not only the second vaccine booster as well, either shortly moving to campus or shortly thereafter, either prior, before, or shortly thereafter. In-person community students are exempt from this requirement, and at this time, only those students partaking in on-campus housing must receive the second booster shot and report compliance in housing and residence life. There is no vaccine mandate at this time enforced for MCC employees. All vaccine exemption waivers must be completed and submitted via the MCC COVID-19 web portal, located on our MCC COVID-19 webpage prior to the start of fall 22 semester for considerations. We're in partnership with Monroe Community County Health officials. We'll be hosting a COVID-19 vaccine booster clinic for the campus community with an emphasis on compliance for housing and life on August 24th. And Kimberly did a fantastic job with that last year, and we're going to mirror it very similar this year on August 24th. And then last, as VP again talked about, unfortunately, some of the violence that we've actually had, and we know they're here in Buffalo, but we want to make sure that the MCC community understands that we're very prepared in terms of this. For active shooter action on campus, public safety officers are prepared to immediately respond to a scene of a shooting and try to stop or eliminate the threat. The campus peace officers will most likely be the first responders, followed by local police agencies who would also immediately respond. Similarly, then begin assuming control and eventually take charge. Public safety chief Perrill and assistant chief Ferguson will be at the incident command post, commencing recovery operations, with Chuck Rizzo serves as the EOC manager at the MCC Emergency Operations Center. We have a plan in place. This is not at all reactionary. Again, as we talked about facilities, trying to stay on top of best practices, but this is something we're definitely going to do in terms of emergency response. We talked about, and we'll actually have a meeting with Brighton Police June 21st to start the coordination for active shooter exercise. So we've done one previously here in the last few years, but we want to do another. Again, we want to make sure we stay on top of it. This concludes my report. For any questions?
Board members, questions? Thank you. I mean, who would have thought 5-10 years ago that we active shooter training in elementary school, or high school, or even a college or hospital for that matter. But fortunately, these are the times that we live in, for better or worse. Thank you. Dr. Mackenzie Mabry.
Thank you, Chair Williams. Good evening, trustees, Dr. Bernana. In honor of celebrating our students this time of year, I am happy to announce that SUNY awarded 3 MCC students with the 2022 Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence, or the CASE Award, the highest honor awarded to SUNY students for academic excellence, leadership, campus involvement, and community service. It is absolutely the highest honor bestowed by the system. So we're really excited that 3 of our students have been honored. Isabella De Ruiz, who was a liberal arts major with a concentration in political science. She served as president of Student Government Association and a member of Phi Theta Kappa. She was also the community college representative on the SUNY Student Assembly and served as captain of the MCC women's basketball team. She is transferring to Cornell for fall and will major in international labor relations. Naomi Taggart, who was a liberal arts major with a concentration in political science. Naomi was a resident assistant, served as chief of staff in the Student Government Association for 2 years. Naomi graduated in December and transferred to SUNY Binghamton, where she will continue this fall. And Jay was a theater arts major a student athlete on the softball team, and received the MCC Sportsmanship Award of the Year for academic excellence and work in the community. Jay will be transferring to the Disney College program and then on to Oswego to major in theater arts. So we're excited about the honor and recognition of our MCC students by SUNY. Just a couple other updates from academic services. The Department of Education and Human Services created a partnership back in spring 2019 with Action for a Better Community Head Start. I'm really excited about this partnership. And the program was to offer course-based instruction on site at one of the Head Start locations for teachers interested in pursuing their early care certificate with MCC. We have 14 students who will complete their certificate with us this summer. And so that's a really exciting and innovative way of making sure that we're meeting our community needs. In the same breath as that, we also recognize 7 students who will be completing the Accelerated Addictions Counseling Certificate program this spring. Students will all work in an Office of Addiction Services and Supports, or OASIS, licensed facility. They began their accelerated program in September 21. And again, it just really is accolades to our faculty who are really thinking outside of the box to meet the needs of our community and the needs of our students to meet community demand in terms of some of these careers. So we're really excited about the work that they're doing. I also wanted to take a moment to thank you, Chair Williams, for actively participating in the SUNY Guided Pathways capstone this past spring. Thank you for your time and engagement with the MCC team. We greatly appreciate it. And I also just want to extend a thank you also to Trustee Lovenheim, who participated in Institute number 5 as well. It's really important that we have the opportunity to have our trustees joining us in institutes, the Guided Pathways Institutes in particular, and being so actively engaged. So thank you. And that concludes my report.
Any questions?
Thank
you. Fritz and Seinkins.
Good evening, trustees and Dr. Bert and Anna. It's good to see all of you. I'm going to focus on the Forward Center launch for my comments today. I'll start with the actual launch event, which was May 23rd. We were very pleased to have Dr. Cole joining us, which was really cool. We had right in the neighborhood of about 100 people actually attend that event. Dr. Bert and Anna mentioned many dignitaries. I'll also say that we did get extensive press coverage. We had articles and coverage from WXXI News, WROC TV, WUHF TV, Rochester Beacon, the Livingston County News and Batavia Daily News, and WFLR AM. So we had lots of coverage there. I can tell you that leading up to the Forward Center launch, we've been sort of kind of mixing things up with our social media for quite some time now. And in the first quarter of this year, to sort of continue that excitement in our social media platforms, we gained 65 new followers and garnered over 14.7 thousand net impressions. And that's before the launch. So we get quarterly reports. So I will make sure that you hear about quarter 2, which will reflect the activity of the launch period at the next board meeting. I would also say that there's a great deal of activity that we've been having now that we have the launch to continue to generate interest and bring as many people as we can into the facility. As of June 2nd, we started marketing our open house activities that we're doing with local employers. Those events are going to walk employers through the different programs that we're offering at the facility and how those programs can impact their business's bottom line. So to make sure that it's relevant to something that'll help their business. And we've already received 20 folks that have signed up for those in just, a week, which is pretty exciting. You'll start to see our billboards and our bus transit signs out there, which is very exciting. That again has been out there since about May 31st. And we're already starting to receive information about folks who are scanning the QR code on our transit advertising. So that's also very exciting. And that's all I have to report today, but I look forward to reporting on the additional activity and successes of the Ford Center through Dr. Cole.
Board members, any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thank you. Gretchen?
Thank you, Chair Williams, trustees, and Dr. Burt and Anna. It's certainly a pleasure to get to provide an update today. We've been hearing about how very, very busy the institution has been. And so I wanted to start by recognizing the team, our community relations team, Rosanna Ewell and Hensi Yuan-Ing. They have supported the county executive's state of the county address here, commencement, the Forward Center opening. And this is also bittersweet because this is Rosanna Ewell's last Board of Trustees meeting with us, as she is retiring after 20 years of remarkable service. So really showing her professionalism over the past however many weeks. It has been incredibly busy. She's paying attention. Talked about everybody coming back, retirees coming back. My ears were hurting after that. I also want to recognize institutional research. You hear regularly from the strong team that we have there. And we've talked about the need to have access to data throughout the institution. And so I want to thank Kimberly Collins and Amy Ariola and the IT team for helping to make our data champion training a success as we begin to have more people throughout the college community have access to data that's going to allow us to make data-driven decisions. I am also going to be presenting the report on behalf of the MCC Foundation Board of Directors. Chair Lori Van Dusen is not able to join us tonight, so if we can bring up that presentation, that would be great. Anticipation. There we go. Next slide. Next slide. You heard the great news about the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation and their $3.2 million investment in the Forward Center. They have been an outstanding partner for the college, and we look forward to continuing to work with them to bring opportunity to our region. So we're incredibly grateful, and the foundation was so pleased to play a role in this exciting launch. Next slide, please. This is the time of year we get to offer a glamorous photo. The 24th annual Gold Star Gala presented by M&T Bank was a great success. Thanks to the generosity of our sponsors, donors, including many of you, our college community supporters. We raised more than $300,000 net in support of MCC. So we certainly want to recognize our honorary chairs, the Cornell and Weinstein Family Foundation, as well as our committee chairs, Essie Helga McDavid and Bernard McDavid, and as ever, an outstanding committee that helps us to put together an event that we keep hitting some goals year after year. Next slide, please. Next up is golf. I'm so pleased to report that we are actually sold out for the golf tournament. We have 32 foursomes already reserved, and we have, again, a strong committee that makes this possible, chaired this year by Gavin Brownlee and Chris Simony. So we have opportunities, still non-golfing opportunities available, and we do a scholarship call at the event. So that's the work we'll be doing over the next few weeks to make sure this is a success on behalf of the college. Next slide, please. And one more piece of good news. I am very pleased to share that we just received the notice that we are receiving a grant of $133,000 from the Max and Marion Farish Charitable Foundation to support diversifying the new teacher pipeline, improving retention of early career and pre-service BIPOC teachers through mentoring. This is a 2-year pilot project to develop and implement a mentoring program for MCC's teacher education students and early career educators from area school districts. The Farish Foundation has been a longtime supporter of the First and Family Scholarship at MCC, and we're really thrilled to have this additional investment from them.
As always, it's a pleasure to report to you all on the work of the foundation directors. You know, they're a remarkable group of people, and we're so grateful for all that they do. So I encourage you to take the time to take a look at the activity report that's in your packets. So thank you very much.
Any questions? Thank you, Gretchen. I will now ask student trustee Barlow to give her report.
Chair Williams. So my journey to becoming a student trustee began with campaigning for a position for Monroe Community College's Student Government Association elections. At first, I was a little anxious because I didn't understand the role of a student trustee. I just knew I wanted to serve as a student leader and enrich my leadership abilities while being the voice for the students at the highest level. I desired to learn how the Board of Trustees contributed to operating in the best interest of the college and the students. I started my training in the summer of 2021 and attended many opportunities such as training webinars and workshops. These learning opportunities helped me learn more about Robert's rules and how the meetings would be conducted. I also learned the importance of my right to vote on any new policies or procedures that could affect the college accreditation and the students. However, the most helpful skill I gained was learning about the financial aspect of the college. I have learned some financial training, understanding regarding how the board conducts its business. The priority is to ensure that MCC makes sound monetary judgments about its fiscal spending. I've had opportunities that allowed me to advocate with government officials for more higher education spending and the expansion of the Pell Grants. I'm grateful for going to these conferences as they get out of my comfort zone and advocate for students at MCC and community colleges across New York. This was a little bit intimidating at first. The more meetings I attended, the more I understood what all those numbers meant. When I think back on my role, another challenge I faced was not learning how to say no. I found that I felt like I had to attend many events. This was a hard lesson to learn because the word no really wasn't in my mind when it came to these opportunities. I tracked my hours working as a student trustee, totaling 362 hours. The requirements for the EBL 101 course states I must have 113 internship hours. However, I far exceeded this requirement. This is what led me to overbook myself and cause some anxiety. Then I remembered I was a student first, so I had to start seeing which events I could attend without overloading my plate. Another challenge was writing a student trustee report. I felt that there was some overlap between what I would report and what Student Government Association was reporting. I felt the most confidence in my role by having previous knowledge of Robert's rules. I gained these skills through my year of serving in the Student Government Association and my year of serving as Vice Chair of Veterans Affairs on the SUNY Student Assembly. I am most proud of working with Jody Oriole on integrating the student trustee with the Student Government Association. My first year at MCC, I had no idea what a student trustee was. So I saw a gap in communication between the student trustee and the rest of the students. So I implemented a way to bring the connection back to the students. I asked the Office of Student Life and Leadership if I could have some office space dedicated for student trustee to have open office hours. I advertised by passing out flyers and had them posted around campus and in the Student Tribune. This has never been done before. The resources I used to help me were mentors such as other trustees, Linda Hall, the executive assistant of the board, the president of the college, Dr. Bert Nana, and working with Dr. Kimberly Collins through the EBL 101 class. If I had any questions, I could go to any of these professionals for answers. This experience has changed how I look at how higher education is viewed from the board's perspective. I now know more about finances and what it takes to run a college. I feel more confident knowing the board side of the operations and how their decisions affect the students. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me. The skills I have gained will always be with me and will be helpful as I continue my journey in serving the students at Monroe Community College. I want to thank the Board of Trustees for being fully committed to my success and my role as a student trustee. I also want to thank President Dr. Bert Nana for guiding me through the advocacy for students on the legislative level. I would also like to thank my advisor, Jody Oriole, for always being the inspiration that gave me that little nudge to serve and lead my peers, and Dr. Kimberly Collins, who helped me become more aware of my studies and her mentorship through the EBL 101 course. Does anyone have any questions for me? You're welcome. I do have one more. Very good. All right. Here we go. Now my report as the SGA president. So I've been elected to become the SGA's president for this next incoming year, starting in the fall. Well, actually starts in the summer. So I have 6 things that I listed. The Student Government Association had an excellent year, working side by side with President Dr. Deanna Burton-Anna and her cabinet to accomplish her 5 priorities. Some of their accomplishments were transitioning safely to on-campus events and face-to-face courses. As president of the Student Government Association, my team will work closely with our advisors, Jody Oriel and Mark Sample, to continue our shared governance relationship with the president. We will begin to set goals in the next few weeks that will be aligned with the new strategic plan, Vision 2027. And as the Student Government Association president, I will focus on recruitment and engaging with all students on campus. And I look forward to a wonderful year of shared governance. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will begin the shared governance portion of the meeting.
Okay, so each of the shared governance leaders will have an opportunity to provide an update of no more than 5 minutes to the Board of Trustees. Speakers will not share their allotted time with others. We just had student government report. Faculty Senate.
Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize, this is allergies. You'll have to make sure everyone's okay, allergies. All right. On Thursday, June 16th, we will hold our last Senate meeting of the year. We're very busy on important college-wide initiatives and making recommendations to administration. NEG, under the leadership of Mary Timmons, conducted elections for officers and senators. Dr. Natasha Ten Christensen will continue as VP of Teaching Faculty, and Amanda Rampy Eggleston will serve as VP of Professional Staff. I want to thank Jeremy Case for his outstanding advocacy of professional staff this past year. Thank you so much, Jeremy. We also welcome Mary Timmons in her new role as Senate Secretary. Senate, in particular, Scott and Becky Babcock, have worked with administration on many searches that led to the hiring of VP Cole and Hinton, as well as ongoing searches and 2 reorganization proposals. Academic policies under the leadership of Rollo Fisher worked on recommendations for general education policy and procedure, transfer policy and procedure, copyright policy, placement of GER scores, revised resolutions pertaining to grading scale and course modality. Our focus continues to be student success with a focus on teaching and learning and support services. Planning under the leadership of Yasna and Valerie, as you heard, worked intensely to help develop the new strategic plan, and we have given some feedback and plan to vote to endorse the draft at our final Senate meeting, as you heard. Curriculum Committee, under the leadership of Tracy Graney, has worked tirelessly on normal curriculum business and the addition of a tight time frame from SUNY to restructure our general education. The Implementation Committee concluded its work, and now the Gen Ed Work Group will have the monumental task of reviewing all of our courses for the new Gen Ed framework that will mirror SUNY's Gen Ed framework. Professional development under the leadership of Judy Salzberg Taylor has put together a fabulous week of professional development activities beginning today. The Senate will be presenting tomorrow at 9 a.m. a session called Polls, Roles, and Goals, everything you want and need to know about Faculty Senate. And you are all invited if you wish to attend. Senate representation does include, we continue to include, revisiting the temporary placements for new students that were passed under COVID restrictions, the attendance policy, work on hiring guidelines. Scott shared their comments with administration, and we look forward to a response and work regarding the revised guidelines. We all agreed that a look at job descriptions and titles were necessary to move forward with any changes. So we look forward to revising SCOT's resolutions once that work is completed. We continue work on diversity, equity, and inclusion in our curriculum with Natasha's representation on that committee. We're going to work this summer on transitioning our senators. We voted in some new ones and said thank you and goodbye to some old ones, officers, and the executive committee for the next academic year. Senate meetings will continue to be remote for the next year. I also have the pleasure of co-chairing, along with Dr. Gant and Rosanna, the inauguration committee for Dr. Bert Nana, and we're underway with preparations. The event will take place on September 22nd, so look for your save the date invitations coming soon. And finally, I'm always in awe of the work my colleagues do to keep shared governance at the center of policymaking and collaboration. I want to thank my colleagues in EC and our senators for the amazing work they engage in and day out. They're an inspiration to our students, but they are an inspiration to me. Congratulations, Paula.
Thank you.
And Barbara, thank you for your service to the Board of Trustees. I appreciated the spirit in which you welcomed me to this position. You were very supportive during my doctoral work at UB, so thank you for that, and I wish you the best. So thank you, that's my report. Are there any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Support Staff Planning Council provided a written update in your board folders and administration.
Thank you so much, Linda. And just have general acknowledgement and appreciation for all of our shared governance groups for your tremendous collaboration and the unity in which we have fostered together in this first year. I want to thank each of you, every one of our shared governance groups, for embracing and aligning your efforts to the strategic priorities of the college and for the many ways you contribute to MCC's success both now and in the future. And there are too many examples of that for me to list, and I would leave something important out. So I will simply say you're amazing and thank you for being amazing colleagues.
At this time, we'll begin the union update portion of the meeting.
Okay, so each of the union leaders will have an opportunity to provide an update of no more than 5 minutes to the Board of Trustees. Speakers will not be able to share their allotted time with others. The Faculty Association provided a written report. It's in the board folders and a board pack, and CSEA has no report.
Okay. Thank you. I would now like to call your attention to the information items in attachment 9, 11, and 12. Biographies of our newest employees can be found in attachment 11, and the staff recognition notes found in attachment 12. Both document the impressive credentials and accomplishments of MCC's employees. I know you will join me in recognizing their contributions to the college. You know, and before I call for an adjournment meeting, I just like to say that over the past couple of months, well, a month or two, this has been an extraordinary time at MCC. And listening to the speakers here today, you know, some of the things that have come up have been, you know, the Gold Star Gala, the county executive address, the Forward Center opening, the employee recognition event. We reached agreement on our labor contracts, convocation, the Scholars Day, and where Soledad O'Brien spoke, and it's capped off by graduation. And when you look at all of that, it really has been an extraordinary time for MCC in the sense that it really shows how much MCC shines, and the fact that we are paving the way for giving our students the opportunities to provide a good living for themselves, as well as to further their academic careers. And I'd like to thank President Bert Nana for her leadership over the past year. Because one thing that I've noticed is that, for a long time, this has been the first time in a long time where I feel that we are all working together. And it sort of brings to my mind the words of a song that I once heard that, we're all in the same boat, fishing in the same hole. And in this sense, we are all rowing in the same direction. So again, I'd like to thank you for your leadership, thank your staff for all the work that they've done and really making that happen. And I'd also like to thank Linda for her hard work and keeping the board together. I can't tell you how many times I email her on a late Friday afternoon or Friday evening or Sunday afternoon, expecting that, by Monday morning, she would respond to me, or sometime on Monday. But within 30 minutes, I get a response back. And so I'd like to, again, say thank you all for the work you've done and the fact that I think, given that what we've accomplished in the last year or so holds a lot in terms of what the future holds for MCC. Now I know that at some point in time we'll hit a hiccup somewhere, but for right now, this has really been an extraordinary time, and you could feel the atmosphere, a change in the atmosphere and the buzz in MCC among the students, staff, faculty, and the administration. So thank you again.
Chair Williams, thank you for acknowledging the efforts that goes to all members of our learning community here. I appreciate your acknowledgement of the leadership, but it also takes others being willing to follow that leadership and come on board. And so our students and our faculty and our staff have always been amazing colleagues. And so they have just put their commitment to our institution on full display under this administration, and I'm very grateful for that. But I'm also appreciative of the excellence of our board. Our trustees have really leaned into the mission of our institution all the more. It's particularly around student success and the alignment of their governance leadership with administrative leadership has a ripple effect throughout the entire institution that we're working together. So thank you for your leadership as our board chair in shepherding the shared governance efforts of our board to align itself and support the efforts of administration and all of our colleagues throughout the institution. We appreciate that.
Okay.
And yes, Linda is amazing as she answers emails on the weekend. That's all right.
And with that, trustees, this concludes the Board of Trustees meeting. Thank you again. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Colleagues online.